The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
Eric's Family Barbecue has arrived and is simply the best barbecue in Arizona. Come satisfy your taste buds with meats that are smoked over mesquite wood and sides that are made with fresh ingredients and tons of love. They have the best, juiciest brisket, pulled pork, rib sausage, turkey, or everyone's favorite, the Pitmaster Sampler that includes all the meat and 4 sides, mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, corn, or beans, yum. And for dessert, try some creamy banana pudding, amazing. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip, you won't be sorry. Dine in or take it to go. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more info.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
Hear the words you say sometimes? I mean, who talks like that?
98 KUPD.
Thanks, Larry and Whistle. It is glorious Monday here. It's good to be back, I'll tell you that. Landing in this city is fantastic when you've been in Albuquerque for 3 days. Toledo, you wouldn't know because you don't air travel, but flying over this town, it's like this warm, fuzzy feeling when you get back to paradise, and you're like, man, looking at that brown dump I was in for the last 3 days, this place is absolute heaven. So as I was flying in last night, coming in, you look for the landmarks. Like, which direction we come? Okay, we're coming in from the east. So then you get kind of closer, and hey, there's Big Surf. There's some sort of weird piss festival going on there with a stage. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's KDKB's piss concert. It was going on. It was like nobody, but they had this stage and the lights, and you could tell there was a concert as I'm going over. And then I just thought to myself, I'm like, oh, that is just a load of gay guys pissing in Big Surf watching.
It actually looked yellow, the water, like
you could see
from the
it.
plane.
You could see other guys push. Huge. Oh, it's so weird. And that's all I thought. I was like, would I want to wade in piss water to watch middling alternative bands? And the answer is clearly, I'd rather sit and, at least it would be entertaining at one of our shows if we did. It would be Indian puke floating around. And
rock splash.
It'd be like Native Americans thrown up. You have not lived, Native Americans, until you go to Albuquerque to the Marble Brewery. And when the band starts setting up, the Marble Brewery is awesome, by the way. Good stuff.
I thought you were saying Marlboro.
Marble.
Okay.
You said Marlboro. Marble.
The cigarette brewery?
Marble. The band starts setting up, and it's Native Americans. I'm like, this could get good because it's Gathering of the Nations. It's powwow weekend. And I go up to the guy. I'm like, what do you guys play? We're going to do some reggae. I'm like, you're in a Linkin Park shirt. Any Linkin Park? Oh, in my other band. I'm like, all I could think of from that moment on is the beginning of the song, and then it start with one thing. I don't know what that really matter how hard you try. And I'm like, are you the singer? Yeah. I'm staying. I'm watching Indian reggae. I'm a lion. Like English people when they sing, loses the accent right in the middle, I think. We do some reggae, and we're going to get a little bit of, little pop rock stuff. Okay. I'm definitely staying for the reggae. I don't know how your accent's going to...
Buffalo Soldier.
Pretty great. Yeah. Heart of America, my America. Batty Rasta. What? Do. No one knows any of the words. It was awesome. So that happened. And then I saw something at a trampoline park yesterday that I didn't think was possible in humanity. So we went with Megan's nephews, who took her nephews over to this big, gigantic trampoline park. It's a really neat place. And the kids are jumping all over the place. Well, this kind of gangbanger, very New Mexico Mexican. I mean, the ones that you draw with the white tank top.
And the polos.
They didn't have that, but he had the black pants pulled up too high and the glasses that were in the tank top and the tattoos on just the shoulders. And the hair was slicked back, and he was probably in his late 20s. And he's walking around, and his kids are out there with his wife. His wife she was fairly attractive, normal looking. He just looked like he's a banger, but kind of like I don't know, maybe just comfortable. He's either just like dressing like an Italian or he was a Mexican gangbanger. I couldn't tell. So his wife goes, come on out. You got to come out. The kids want you come out. And he goes, okay, I'll try. And he's all excited. I try it. Kicks his shoes off. You have to put these special socks on. Okay. And he gets on the trampoline, and he just starts kind of humping the air. And I'm like, hey, man, that dude doesn't know how to jump.
Never been on one.
Brady, I don't think he could jump if it was a trampoline or not. He was standing. It wasn't like it was moving. It was just like the ground, and he's just humping the air. And he's going, and then one foot will come off the ground, and the other one, he goes, I don't get it. And I'm like, what? You don't understand how to, I never learned to jump. Like, what? He never said that, but that's what I was thinking. Like, who can't just go, okay, I'll practice on the terra firma, then I'll get on the bouncy world.
You don't jump in the streets.
He doesn't trust the surface.
Like you've never once gone, no, man, because, I've heard stories. My Uncle Chavo jumped once and never came back.
Yeah.
Megan and I watched him for an hour, and I'm like, it was funny because when his wife said, come out, you got to come try it. Okay, I'll try it, like he warned him in the car. But I warned you, I never learned to jump. And he just kind of humped the air. And then he'd get going a little bit, like just kind of the world. He never left the ground. And then when he'd get in the air a little, he'd look around and go, I'm like, yeah, you're nailing it, dude. This is big. Meanwhile, this UFC fighter next to him is bounding into the air like a rabbit. And they've got medicine balls hanging from the ceiling. And they're 15, 20 feet up. Doing, grabs it, climbs on top. He's sitting on top of the medicine ball swinging. He does this backflip off. And he's standing on the trampoline next to the guy. He's like, I'm almost in the air sometimes. But you see, as a child, I never learned to jump. How did you get in your gang? Weren't you jumped in?
He was kind of moving like one of their cars do. Like,
he had hydraulics. Look at me. Look, dude. I don't ever really leave the ground because I don't trust that gravity will be there for me when I return. I was dying.
A spirit will take him away.
But yeah, it's Dia de los Muertes, the jumping. No, you'll piss them off. I was rolling. I kept saying that to Megan. You don't tease me because I never learned to jump. I've heard I've never learned to read. I've never learned to drive. I've never learned to jump. I witnessed it for the very first time in my life. And the guy was in his late 20s. Easy. And his wife knew. You got to come try. Okay, I'll try it. I'm like, who says that?
Because the kids have been there.
Yeah, I turned to Megan. I'm like, who says I'll try it? It's a trampoline. I'll try it. It kind of does the work for you. He couldn't do it. He could not work the trampoline. It was just foreign concept.
He'll be back there next Sunday.
So all we assumed was, because Megan and I are both bigots, I'm like, well, he must have been stabbed in the spine or something. And then he's recovering. Because Ryan Shazier is a better jumper than him today. It was hilarious.
He's been in a coma for 20 years.
Yeah, that's what we did all the scenarios where, like, maybe he just woke up from some sort of, and his muscles have atrophied, and he's still, because of the coma, I cannot jump, but I will try. It's just so good to have you back. I mean, I was waiting for someone to say that. I'm sorry your spinal cord was severed, and through the miracle of modern medicine, you are back. Jumping is a chore.
Maybe he's just horrible with just the motion. He'll yak. Like if he's a roller coaster or a car, he starts jumping.
But you know
I think I can handle it.
Then you never say, okay, I'll try. You just, no, you know what happens.
You've seen that
You
before.
guys do it. I don't want that thing. I never learned to jump. It's the classic after-school special I want to write. Gustavo, I never learned to jump. The boy who could not jump.
That's a great kid's book.
It is a great kid's book.
Standing on the side of the trampoline, shedding tears.
Yeah, but there's absolutely no redeeming quality of the book. It's just a guy who,
at
as
the
a boy,
end, he learns to jump.
No,
you're not going to let him.
He gets stabbed and killed. You should have seen how he was dressed. He was definitely going to get killed. He's not.
Well, you could change the ending.
Look, I'll tell you right now. The ending of the children's book would be the back end Ford F-150 with his name and his dates of life.
Oh, that might be good.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a very sad.
Okay. Here's the other thing. Yeah, it's a terrible children's book. The best part is, we just came up with the ending for it. It's on there because he got killed because if he would have just been able to jump, those ropes wouldn't have cut his feet off and he wouldn't have fallen on the train tracks. But he never learned. I've never seen it before. And then, my little nephew there, Megan's nephew, Ryan, is 2. Boing, boing. He's running all over the place. I'm like, well, he never learned to jump, but he kind of self-taught, isn't he? Gustavo. You got to try it. Okay, I'll try it. But be warned. This is weird. I was rolling.
Did they have the giant foam block pit that you can jump into?
This place was massive.
You would have to jump, Brady.
Yeah, I'm not jumping into that. That's called falling.
I can do
What
that.
you do, Gustavo, is you get your knees better, and then you just kind of launch yourself forward. But what if, at that very moment, gravity ceases to work, and I just orbit the Earth?
What is launch?
Like Marilyn McCoo for the rest of my life. You think Marilyn McCoo is orbiting me? Up and away. She never came back.
In my beautiful balloon.
She never came back, man. Where's the song that said, hey, nice landing? Yeah, I don't know. He's afraid of gravity betraying him.
You grow up in a gang, living the life.
Yeah.
You don't have time for that stuff.
When did I have time to learn to jump? That's great.
Scars on his ankles from jump rope.
I just hope that the people, yeah, that'll be great. Ow! I'll never be a boxer. How do you guys leave the planet all the time for each twirling? I'm hoping to God he moves into the house next door to me, because I will put a trampoline into my front yard and just, hey, come on over, Gustavo. No, I can't. I never learned to jump. Come on, I'll teach you. That's weird. What you're saying is really weird. It was strange. Albuquerque was a treat. Great breweries, I'll tell you that, if you ever fly over there. The Gathering of Nations is hilariously worth it, because for no reason at all, on Central Avenue in Albuquerque. It reminds me of Phoenix about 30 years ago when I first moved here. The downtown's worthless. It's got some bars. People cruise Central. It's exactly what Phoenix used to be. You've got a couple nice areas, and it's just a cow town. There's nothing special. But I was looking for a drugstore, which they don't have when I first landed, because I forgot razors and a toothbrush. I'm like, damn it. And I don't like the hotel ones because they give you the garbage. So I just figured you'd walk down. I'm right downtown. There'll be a drugstore somewhere. I walked all the way down this. It's just, during the Gathering of Nations, crackheads litter the streets of Albuquerque. They're everywhere. They've got a real big problem. And during the Gathering of Nations, those crackheads also are surrounded by people dressed in Native American garb. So I can't imagine what that's doing, because they always say that, Jim Morrison and everybody else always hallucinated Indians. These poor crackheads. It was real. It was like right there at the bar, there's a guy, not necessarily in a full headdress, but dressed as a Native American cultural warrior. It was pretty neat.
I'm the Lizard King.
So that was going on. And then the pièce de résistance. If you're ever in Albuquerque and you watched all the episodes of Breaking Bad, they're going for you, Toledo and Eric. I know you didn't watch all of it, did you?
No.
Yeah. The Breaking Bad tour is awesome. It is flat out awesome. And I didn't expect it to be as good as it was.
Didn't the guy that owned the house sell it because he got tired of people coming by?
They've lived there for 45 years.
Really?
They put up a little fence. Her name's Lydia. She meets the bus. She sits outside and talks to all the people, and she's super sweet and really nice. But Walt's house, the White House, is right there, and she was in the garage, and she's had her garage set up as like a little living room since she lived there, because the weather's nice. So she sits outside all the time, and now she knows when the bus comes by, and she says hi, and she'll let you take pictures and stuff. But they had to put a fence up, like a small gate, because people were parking in the driveway. And
you sent us a picture of that.
Yeah, one hit her.
That's a big fence.
Someone hit her. It looks big in the picture, but it's because the house is on a little bit of a hill. The fence is only like 3 feet. It's like a little tiny thing.
Pony wall.
Yeah, it's like a small pony wall of.
It's a weird fence for that house.
It is. It doesn't look good. She made a bad choice. I said that too. I'm like, not a good choice for aesthetics. But what are you going to do? It's got a reason for it. They did the same thing to the Brady Bunch house. They have a big, weird fence around that too.
And that house is small when we.
Yeah,
saw
well,
it.
yeah, and it's strange, but yeah, the Breaking Bad. So I'm on the tour, and we go over to Los Pollos Hermanos, which is called Twisters, and you've gone by all this stuff, and you're like, they've got videos in they put you in a 1987 Bounder, just the exact same thing as what Walt and Jesse cooked in at first, and you go to all these spots, and at first you're kind of like, this might be stupid, you're just looking at how, but then you realize it's pretty cool, and they show clips of the show while you're going by the thing. You're like, see, this is what's going on, here's where the clip was, and they remember this, and they do trivia on the deal, and so you're sitting.
How many people are on the,
it was full.
in the Bounder?
20. Probably 20, and they fill it up twice a day, and it's great. So
we're your own little bus ride, kind of.
A little bit, but at least mine was entertaining, and the inside of it was a Breaking Bad museum, not an actual bus of methamphetamine.
And no one using the crapper.
Right, there was no crapper. They removed it to add another regular seat. So we're there, and we get to Los Pollos Hermanos, and the guy running the tour gets off the bus, and we're all standing there. Goes, everybody want a picture in front of? They filmed, this was interior, exterior, so you get to go in, they serve you lunch inside, it's all covered. So you go inside, and then he goes, hey, everybody on the tour, we have a special guest here today from Phoenix and 98 KUPD, and I'm like, what? And I looked at Megan's brother, and I'm like, did you? He goes, I didn't tell him anything. And I'm like, oh, no. This is weird. This makes me look like I told him or like something. So he's like, is John Holmberg here? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, hey, we want to thank you. I heard you were talking about. I'm like, okay. So I went up to him later. I'm like, how did you know? And he goes, dude, my brother's in Phoenix. He listens to the show all the time. His name's DJ. And I'm like, oh, because before I found out about this, I was going to spend all day Monday making fun of your hair. But now your brother listens, and I got to be nice to you.
Is it a nice tube?
It's a good-looking piece. He's a super nice guy. They were awesome, and they do a really good job. So I will sell Albuquerque to you on that thing. The tour was awesome. It was flat awesome. So, and as if you're a fan of the show, if you're not a fan of the show, you know.
So Twisters, huh?
It's called
They couldn't
Twisters.
have the name?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that.
I thought they were opening some of those.
Because weird thing is like there's a few places that they did.
Like Arnold's and Happy Day back in the day.
What was that called?
Cops.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they have the big A?
No.
You were in Milwaukee, right?
No, yeah.
They didn't even
Cheers
have the big
is
A.
something else.
Cheers is the
Bull.
Bull Finch and Bull or something like that.
Bull and Finch.
Yeah, and the weird part is that the...
But then now they have Cheers in like airports.
Yeah.
At least they did. I don't know.
Well, they tried to franchise the thing, but when the... like you go by the auto shop, and it's like, you know, Dick's Auto Shop. They just put a face on it, a fake front on it. And I don't know why, because it's not really called that. But then a few places, like there's a hot dog place called the Dog House. That's the Dog House. And it's just kind of these cool little areas. And some of them do, some of them don't. I guess if you're going to use it on a regular basis, you would have to pay that company a lot of money. And if you're just agreeing to film there.
Just
free advertising.
Yeah, well, you're free advertising for that. They didn't know the Breaking Bad was going to be a smash hit, so they're like, sure, you can film here, but... And plus, you don't want, you know, something to go into the show, and you're like, you don't want to associate Twister's
could
name.
ruin the business.
Right, like, because if you think about it, it's like, oh, Twisters, that's where Gustavo Fring did all the meth. You associate the name with the actual thing, so it's really... That way they can associate with the show rather than the show associating with the real Twisters.
Yeah, I would go in and ask for meth every time I ordered.
People do. Evidently, they wander, and there goes Gus's office. Here's Gus here. It's Gus around. But, the Twisters they used is in one of the worst neighborhoods I've ever been in. Awful. Way off in the outskirts. And there's 10 of them to choose from, but they used that one, and it was garbage. It was dirt. But it was pretty neat. So,
because they could do the production without messing up anything around there.
Probably cheaper because, rich people would be like, I don't want this around me. And the poor people are like, this is cool. So it was cool. And then some Better Call Saul stuff in there and things like that. It was really neat. And it is weird because you go to the car wash and you get to hang out at the A1 car wash and
have an A1 day.
Oh, the questions that people ask because the girl walked by and the tour guide's like, well, here's the real life Skylar. And she walks by because she's the manager and she goes, hey, everybody, thanks for coming. She walks through. She's busy. No, young girl, 25, dark hair.
Oh, I should have found somebody else just like her.
Walked right through. And but no, she's literally the manager of this car wash, a functioning car wash that she's just doing her job while the tour goes. So she waves and keeps doing her job. And then later she's in the front and some lady taps her on the shoulder. So is your name really Skylar?
Oh,
no, it's not. You're an idiot. You're retarded. That would be crazy, don't you think? Get back in the bus. Get back in the RV.
Was this group from like all over the country?
Yeah, we had people from Australia, a guy from Germany. It was weird, yeah, because international travelers heading
and
to
the
Albuquerque.
dumb woman from the south,
and then the lady from somewhere in Kentucky, and some folks from San Diego were moving to Payson, which I didn't understand at all, and I had a lot of questions. Are you running from something? Who moves from San Diego to Payson? My husband just wanted a change of pace. Yeah, but why Payson? Like, there's 100 little podunk towns in between here and there. No. Did you want to move there? Not really. No. Well, they got divorce lawyers in Payson, too.
Well, it's love, John.
Yeah, no, not really. I think it's kidnapping is what it is. It's Elizabeth Smart-style love. But yeah, Albuquerque. A man who never learned to jump and the Breaking Bad tour. I'll take that trip over Toledo's weekend anytime. Anytime. But yeah, it was great. So if you guys ever go, there's absolutely no reason. But next time you go up... Huh? Yeah, they'll bus you over. Yeah, it's a 9-hour bus ride from Albuquerque. Here. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Just take the bounder. But you go to New Mexico because Lisa's family.
Yeah,
so it might be worth a drive up.
By White Sands.
Take a day off, drive 3 hours up. And
is it 3 hours north
2.5, 3 hours from White Sands, yeah. Just do it. It's worth it. You're out of Las Cruces and White Sands. Just do it.
That would be your Toledo road trip for the day.
Yeah, but at least you're escaping where Toledo would find refuge.
I have a hard enough time with because usually we end up driving there.
Ugh.
So, well, we have flown into El Paso a few times. But
yeah. Fly into Albuquerque. Do the Breaking Bad tour. drive down to the miserable in-laws, and then head back.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Next time.
Pretty fun. They do a nice job. So, DJ, thank you for outing me, jackass.
Lisa pulled a Brady in Vegas. She went to bed at 9 on the first night.
What?
Nice.
Why? Drunk?
That is late.
I was mad at her.
Was she drunk?
Was she?
Just
Yeah,
tired.
we were
That's
drinking.
different.
But yeah, she failed miserably night 1. Night 2, she made up for it though.
All right, that's all I'm.
She made up because she got so hammered. Never go see Penn and Teller hammered.
No, she starts talking.
Well, no. It's hard. It's because you have to think.
Oh yeah, she's trying.
And there's like magic.
She's
not
away.
following along.
And they have like liquid crack they sell for the show. And I'm drinking. They give you giant Jamesons and ginger ales, and I'm blitzed.
You're
We're
both
laughing at everything. And we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna throw up on Penn and Teller. Well, that sounds fun too. Everything, Toledo, everything you did could have been this. This was not expensive for me. Maybe Eric Vegas can get a little pricey, but it's still worth it.
Yeah, worked out. He went golfing.
Brady golfed
With a giant.
That's right, with a
Giant man. Everything is better
9,
than
he can just
Toledo's.
murder a golf ball.
That's great. That's still better than what Toledo did.
I disagree.
Yeah, well.
This is why you're different. You telling me you'd rather do that over again than watch a Mexican gangbanger not know how to jump on a trampoline?
No,
That's
I
hours
wanna
of
be there
entertainment.
for that.
Yeah. Hours of entertainment. And then the best part of that trampoline thing is the adults who dunk on the kids on the basketball wall.
Yeah.
Oh, is that hilarious to watch? These kids are trying to play, and these dudes are just skying over them and just slamming
checking
it.
bodies out of the
it's
way.
great. Kids just start crying because these guys will take the ball from them and dunk it. Oh, it's great.
John, thank you. I really love the new character, Jumpy the Cultural Warrior.
Right.
I should have the ending be he jumps over a fence and the opposite gang is waiting for him. Oh, wait, he can't jump.
The first time he jumps, I'm doing it. It's working. A gust of wind pushes him over to gang territory. He's not in, and he gets
Guns
killed.
drawn.
He gets killed.
We got to kill you, SS.
Or this little tiny head just goes right over a fence. Yeah. Hey, that's the guy that shot Chavo.
Wait for him to bounce.
Wait for him, he's bouncing.
That's why you don't jump. You don't want to jump into the wrong territory.
Die, Tigger. I said Tigger. Yeah, you bounce. I'm never jumping. That was great.
The meanest dude in the gang gets the trampoline that weekend.
Guys, I bought a trampoline. I just would love the day he discovers he can jump to hear, I'm doing it. And then everybody putting his name on the back of their pickup trucks. I saw one yesterday on my way back from the airport. Not only the name and dates the guy was alive and got killed, but like a decal of his face. I don't need that. Again, Mexican people, stop turning your cars into tombstones. It is depressing.
That's how those shoes end up on the phone wires hanging. They put little mini tramps up there. They jump up there and they put them around.
I've seen many a friend hung on electrical wires because of jumping. The boy who never learned to jump. Gustavo Gutierrez was a nice young man with dreams of leading his gang. But one thing he couldn't do was a dark secret. I can't jump. It
becomes the new battle to be the chief, the head of the gang. A jump off.
We'll have a jump off, and it will end with no more battling in the streets. Gustavo, you have to jump. I cannot jump.
He didn't have the suspenders, did he?
No, almost. They were there. I don't know. They might have been in the car, but it was the exact same thing. He just was missing the,
That would have been badass.
Yeah, he was like Richie Valens' brother in La Bamba. He was always in the white tank top, the tattooed shoulders.
If I was Mexican, that's how I would.
Me too. I would do the exact same thing.
Can't do it as a white.
Let me tell you this: it commands respect in the trampoline park. When he came in a very heavy Mexican culture, that dude owned the room until he got on the trampolines. Everybody realized that I can push him over at any time I want right now. I can jump over him and just kick him on the way by. They're all like a bunch of tigers. I said tigers. It's 6:42.
Look out, Caden.
Caden, the white kid. Stop it! This little Caden kid keeps bouncing around me. Who taught you to jump so well? You're like a little athlete. It's 6:42. What's on the big board of musical treats?
All right, Wake Up Song brought to you by ELOteam.com. You can list your home with us. Discounts, military. I tell you what, the great thing about doing real estate on the side, even when you're in Las Vegas, you have to do work. Like,
Oh, did you?
yeah,
Nice.
guy wanted to put an offer in. You know,
Yeah.
so we're doing it on our phone and stuff.
Drunk.
No, we're not drunk.
Come on.
Luckily, it was 11 a.m. when we had to do the work.
This guy says it. Rick has emailed. This is why he doesn't jump. He's Mexican. The jumping bean jokes. He's against jumping. Of course he doesn't jump. It's like a black guy eating a watermelon in front of white people.
Cultural jokes have
That's
stopped
why
it.
it's race. I'm not jumping in front of all these white people. I know what you're thinking. I won't do it. I didn't even think of that. He's scarred through racism to never jump in front of crackers.
Could be.
That makes sense.
Anyway, on the list, we got Metallica of Mice and Men, but let's do a new Skindred. Came out last week.
Heck yeah.
Our boy Benji, the Brit-Jamaican.
Let's do it.
Machine is
Machine.
their first single off the new album.
That's why he wouldn't jump. Too many white eyes. I know what they'll say. I'll just stand on the trampoline and let them. We don't jump.
And he didn't want to hear all the white people. I told you they can jump.
Look at him. He's a natural. Look at that jumping bean. Go get him, Gustavo. I just loved the words, I'll try it. He had me at I'll try it. Because I was a little intimidated by him. He was a couple feet from me, and I'm like, oh, man. Got a gangbanger in the tramp park. Okay. And he was so happy. I'll try it.
It's almost like that carnival game where it's that rope ladder.
Yeah.
Someone tries it.
I'll
but
try
that's
it.
how
It's like a
disoriented.
cargo. It was like trying to cargo ladder. He got on the trampolines like it was water. Ooh. Okay, I'm in. Now what? I don't know. Weight distribution? I'm not sure how to explain this to you. If you can't feel it, it's not going to happen. Let's do it. Little Skindred for you. What?
Just finishing up download.
I text Larry as we were flying over because I don't adhere to the no texting policies of aircrafts because I've seen stewardesses do it.
And you're low enough.
Yeah, we were getting a service. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
It's like having a really tall
You don't
car.
put it on airplane mode?
No, never. I watched a stewardess. She sat next to me on a plane, and she was texting the whole time. I'm like, hey, is that approved electronic use when we're taking off? She just rolls her eyes.
So you got the inside scoop.
Yeah, well, she didn't even tell me yes or no. She's just doing it. I'm like, so there's absolutely no threat here. Okay. And what she told me was what they really want is you to put all your little projectile missiles down into a safe place in case something happens. So phones don't go flying through the air and bonk people in the head if they have turbulence or a jump or something like that on takeoff. Like, I didn't even think of that because the plane's on an angle. If you hit something and you throw your phone, sure, the plane will make it and everybody will be fine, but then the phone lands on some kid's face, and the next thing you know, they've got a lawsuit.
Every once in a while, that overhead door opens
Sure.
up.
Yeah. It's in your hand, and you're holding a little rock, and you throw it
I
accidentally.
don't know. The phones are like an appendage now.
Oh, yeah. No, people like sneak them, and I'm like, everybody's doing it.
They're gripping them tight.
But yeah, as I was texting Larry as we flew over the Big Surf yesterday, I'm like, hey, quick note. If we ever have a show at Big Surf, count me out. Because I got germ issues as it is. I'm not standing in a piss puddle bringing up five-finger death punch. That's not occurring.
Oh, we've talked about it, I think, haven't we?
No.
We haven't?
No. I've never spoken about it because flying over it, I'm like, ugh. And I don't know
see what they think about it.
I don't know who the bands are. They can think about it all they want. I'm not going to be there.
What if we get the Beach Boys?
It'd be great. Enjoy the Beach Boys in the piss puddle.
That'd be perfect spot for them.
Plus, all the fans of the Beach Boys can't control their bladder anyway, so it'd be a bunch of swollen diapers in the drink. Yeah, it was weird looking because all I saw when I flew the stage right in the middle of the lake, the Big Surf water. And then there weren't many people there because everybody else is disgusted by it too. So the ones that were
That
there,
just sounds
awful. I agree.
Electricity.
You can get around that now.
I know, but it just
didn't seem like a great idea. Like if one of the singers,
you're still plugging in.
But it's alternative bands. So they're not going to go nuts and kick the stacks down.
I know they've got it under control, but I just
even if they didn't, if it was a rowdy band that kicked stuff and threw guitars, and they're alternative bands, they're singing about the first time they blew a guy and stuff like that. And that's what alternative music is. So there's really no like kicking electronics into the water or any threat of some sort of party breaking out. So it's just a bunch of gay guys peeing in the water with each other, watching other gay guys sing about peeing in the water. But it looked awful from the air, so I wouldn't go. No, look, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just your cup of tea, whatever. Or pee, as it is. Not mine. It looked awful from the air. I didn't want in it. It's pretty bad. The guy said, I can't believe what I'm hearing. John, your story is like hearing a Jew that can't do taxes. A black guy that doesn't know what to do with a basketball. Remember, you weren't there the night that Todd Merrill, 6'4", 250-pound black guy, tried to get into my weekly game at work.
I played hoops with him one time before.
What you did was not play hoops with him.
Okay.
You played basketball while Todd did whatever it is he was doing.
He sets up a fence.
What he does is just flail and run and doesn't understand how to catch a round object with his paws. Todd sat there and goes, you going to play ball? Yeah, every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. You mind if I'm like, no, I'd love to have you out there. I'm seeing
you always want the
through
black
my
guy to
wide
show up.
eyes. I'm like, you're on my team. You're a monster. Todd was like dressing up a baby and teaching it to play basketball. It was an infant with bad motor skills. It was a blind baby.
Right,
yeah.
Todd?
Are you okay? You're kidding. His first shot, we all laughed like, this guy, he's doing it because he's black and anything. He threw a basketball, I don't know, from about 4 feet from the rim.
Two-handed shot?
Yes, from his face though. And it was almost a
forward.
medicine ball into the backboard at about 140
I thought it
miles
was
an
an inbound pass.
And we're like, don't do that again, dude. We're going to lose the ball. That was hilarious. All right, Todd threw it at him again. Ball goes right through his hands, into the chest. I'm like, what? All right, joke's over, man. No big deal. Does it again. I'm like, have you seen basketball? You know what you're black, right? You're not just a chimney sweep or something.
Immediate regret of your pick.
No.
Horrible.
What's his skill?
Tackling.
Swimming.
Well, he's a swimmer, yeah. Well, on the basketball court, his skill is running you over.
Were there other black guys to choose from, and you chose the wrong black?
No. We had our regular game.
Yeah.
Todd, can I meet you there? I'm like, sure. You want to get in on this? Yeah, we always use another guy. We'll go, instead of 4s, we'll go 5s. So we'll get that, and I'll get another guy tonight. It's good. I called my buddy. I'm like, we got another guy. We'll be good.
Because that'd be really disappointing if there's 2 black guys to choose from, and you choose the one black guy.
I'm telling you right now, the disappointment. I've had family deaths less disappointing than what I saw Todd do on a basketball court. It was Grandma's time. I don't know what Todd was doing. The game was much slower. It was like teaching a blind infant. It was Helen Keller's. Remember when Aunt Solomon was trying to teach her how to do the water in the hand? It was the same. You
have to dribble before you can.
I'm shocked he asked if he could play basketball instead of just coming up going, is that the one with the round orange thing? He was completely unfamiliar with the sport. Never seen anything like it.
I'll try it.
John, describing what you described of a Mexican saying, I'll try it, is the same as hearing a Chinese guy with his accent saying, I'm not very good at math, but I'll give it a... It is. It killed stereotypes.
You got to try it. Come on out here. Okay, I'll try it.
It was such joy in his voice. Jumping. I didn't know. Gravity just pulling that guy through the earth. It's great. Anyway, it's 6:55. We got a Brady Report coming up next. It's 98 KUPD.
The best the world has to offer in music, drama, and comedy.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.